Welcome to Herd Mentality, a podcast from StoneX where we discuss global dairy markets and what's driving them. Remember that the trading of derivatives such as futures, options, and over-the-counter products or swaps may not be suitable for all investors. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss, and past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. We're recording this on Tuesday, August 27th. With me today is Florian Hildebrand. He's Vice President for Food and Dairy in the EU. He's based out of our Frankfurt, Germany office, where we have 3 people covering dairy. Our headquarters for European dairy operations is Ireland. I forget how many people are out there now, something like a dozen doing dairy. And then we have 3 people in Frankfurt and 2 in France right now that comprise our European-based team. But I wanted to have Florian on today because of this virus, the Bluetongue virus that's spreading in parts of Europe. It's spread by biting insects. It's been around for a long time. It's endemic to tropical and subtropical parts of the world. We've had it in the US. It's been in Northern Europe before. Most recently, it was showing up primarily in the Netherlands back in September of 2023. But this summer, it's now spreading. There's a few cases in the UK, but we're going to kind of ignore that because they are just a few cases, bugs that get blown across to the UK. But it's spreading more widely in the Netherlands, into Belgium, and now into Germany and France. It has a relatively high mortality rate for some ruminants like sheep, and I think for goats. It's not highly fatal for dairy cows, although there is some increased mortality, but it does reduce milk production for the infected cows. Florian, welcome. How widespread is Bluetongue in Germany right now?
Yeah, hi Nate. And first of all, thank you very much for the invitation to your podcast and the idea to talk about this topic. To be honest, at the beginning, the Bluetongue virus was not really on my radar for the last weeks or even the last months. But when we look into the agricultural news, then we saw that we had the first outbreak in October, in the middle of October. And then by the end of 2023, we had only 24 cases, and 5 of these cases were detected in sheep and 19 in cattle cows, or in dairy cows, sorry. So it was not really a big topic here. And now, today in August, July, we see definitely a bigger number here. At the moment, the official number said we have 3,500 cases. This is reported by the Friedrich Loeffler Institute. This is a federal research institute for animal health here in Germany. But all the federal states are affected. In Germany, we have 16 states here, so all of the states are infected. At the moment, especially the northwest, they are infected with the virus, but in general, whole Germany is infected. And also, you mentioned it before, Belgium is infected, the Netherlands, and also France.
That 3,500 cases, official cases, that's a combination of all types of farms, so dairy, beef, and sheep, correct?
Yes, correct. There is no separation for the 3,500 cases, but I talked with a few farmers and also with the authorities here, and the officials and the farmers told me that it is possible that the official numbers are too low. It is possible that the official numbers are too low because farmers, they have no interest to deal with authorities here when they have the virus in the herd. So I think the unofficial numbers are significant higher than the 3,500 cases. That's my feeling here. And when I spoke with the farmers or with the dairies, they more or less they confirmed these feeling here.
Yeah, and it's the same thing we see with bird flu in the US. And there's been some analysis done in the outbreak of Bluetongue in the Netherlands in the later part of last year. And that analysis also found that the virus was probably more widespread than the official numbers would suggest. So it's even if we go by the official numbers, it's widespread across all of Germany, 3,500 cases across all types of farms. What are you hearing about the impact on milk production?
Yeah, and yeah, that's an interesting question, you Nate. We hear from dairies, also from farmers, that milk production is short-term drops dramatically, and farmers told me that the milk volume is going down by 10%. I hear from dairies that the drop in the milk deliveries is between 3 and 8% here. Yeah, and what I hear from the farmers, the drop in the milk production can be up to 10 weeks. And it's also reported that some of the cows no longer reach the old level. So it has definitely an impact here, short term and maybe long term. And in addition to this, we see that the cows are calving much more earlier. So according to the farmers, the gestation period of the cows is reduced from around about 280 days to 265, 270 days. So this means the calves are born around 2 weeks earlier, which has clearly a negative effect here on the constitution of the calf. So this is also a problem. And yeah, I mean, long term, it's difficult to say what is the impact here. I can imagine we have a difficult situation here in Germany at the moment. It is feasible that several heavily affected um, farms which have no long-term perspective because there's maybe no replacement available or the growth is limited by the conditions in the region. Maybe these farms will stop the milk production because at the same time, it is more or less relative expensive to buy new dairy cows or heifers here at the moment. So long term, difficult to say, but short term, it definitely has a bigger impact here. We hear from dairies that it's sometimes not possible to run the plants with full capacity because the milk collections are going down by around about 10% in some situations.
So I know there's vaccines available for Bluetongue disease, and I thought I read something about them being used in France. Are they being used in Germany right now?
Yes, Nate, you are right. We have 3 vaccines available on the German market, and at the moment, this is the only option the farmers have. The problem with the vaccine is that when you vaccinate the cow today, the vaccination will not take effect until the end of September. So it's a long period here, more than a month, more or less. And in addition, there's a concern that if the vaccination is practiced in an infected herd, the vaccination on the first point is they will not work properly. And the second concern is that in worst case, the individual cow can die due to the infect they have in their body. So for this reason, vaccination is not longer recommended by some of the authorities in the heavily affected federal states. So the farmer can decide in the end what they do here, but from the officials, it is not longer recommended to use the vaccination against the virus.
We've seen quite a bit of strength in European prices, particularly in butter prices. I should have checked this before recording the podcast. Is European butter at a new record high?
I think so.
If not, it's very close.
Yeah, definitely, yes. But I think we trading at a new high here.
Yeah. Do you think the weak milk production or fear about supply shortages have been driving European prices higher, or is it something else?
I think the market is currently driven primarily by the low butter production at the beginning of the year. Then we had a long delivery period with low fat content in the milk, and as a result of this, we have a lack of cream and butter. I think that is the main point here. In addition, at the moment, we trading cream round about 10 euro, sometimes above 10 euro. This is definitely a record high here. And this
10,000 euro, right?
10,000 euro, yes, 10 euro per kg. So this is definitely nothing what attract people to produce butter when they have to buy cream at these high levels. And I said this at the beginning of the podcast. At the moment, my feeling is many of the market participants, they don't have this virus on their agenda. Yes, we talked about this today. We talked about this last week. Yes, maybe the dairy is talking with each other about this. But I think that this Bluetongue virus has an additional bullish effect to the market here. That is the feeling what I have here.
That's a little bit scary. But when I looked at some academic research on Bluetongue and its impact on milk production in the Netherlands during the outbreak that they saw from 2006 through 2008. And when they were looking at conditions, it was specifically in 2008, only about 17% of the cows that they were monitoring showed symptoms that they had Bluetongue. So it doesn't impact all of the cows. It doesn't impact all of the farms. We were talking 3,500 farms officially, and yet there's 45,000 dairy farms in Germany?
Yeah, around about, correct, yeah.
Plus all of the sheep and beef cattle, etc. So this isn't going to affect every farm. And with fat pricing up at the level that is currently at, with some of the skim product prices rising, with cheese firming, it's looking like farm gate margins are going to be very, very good for European farmers. And do you think that maybe other farmers are going to be expanding production and could potentially offset the reduced production from Bluetongue?
Yeah, interesting question, Nate. I think it's fair to say that different dairies or various companies and farmers would like to expand their production. But you mentioned the point, they're earning good money, the farmer margins are good, but this is not really the limiting factor here. The limiting factor from my point of view for the last months, or maybe it's better to say for the last years, is that labor is not really available. So at the moment, the limiting factor is the labor. Workers are not, it's not possible to get them. So that is the limiting factor here. Due to this reason, farms are investing in automatic milking systems at the moment to save these labor. And you know this with the automatic milking systems and the technology, this will increase the milk production from these farms. But I think, yes, some farmers will extend the production, but it's difficult and it's also expensive. You mentioned it, yes, they make good money here at the moment. So yes, they have maybe the financial results to invest in these automatic milking systems, but this is more or less, I think, a long-term effect here. Yes,
It's going to be interesting because we have very good margins for U.S. farmers. We're going to have very good margins for European farmers, but combinations of diseases, Bluetongue in Europe, bird flu in the U.S., a lack of replacement animals, certainly in the U.S. It sounds like it's a good strength in Europe as well. Government policy in Europe are all working to kind of hold back that supply response. So even with these good margins, it's getting tougher and tougher to see much improvement in milk production. We have our fall conference in Dublin, Ireland, coming up in 2.5 weeks, roughly. Florian, you're going to be there?
Yes, yes. I think you are also
Yep.
attending. Or yes, it's in 2.5 weeks. Yes.
It's going to be a really interesting time. I'm sure that Bluetongue is going to be a big point of discussion, and we'll be doing more analysis around it between now and then. So thank you for your time today, Florian.
Yeah. Thank you.
The StoneX Dairy team spans the US, EU, Asia, and Oceania, providing market intelligence, analysis, and forecasts through our interactive data platform called StoneX Plus, as well as full-service brokerage on the major dairy exchanges, the CME, EEX, and SGX. If you're interested in finding out more about our market intelligence or brokerage services, you can find more information on stonex.com.
This communication is issued in the European Economic Area by StoneX Financial Europe SA. SFE by the SFE presenters noted. StoneX is the trade name used by StoneX Group Inc. and all its associated entities and subsidiaries. StoneX Group Inc. companies provide financial services worldwide through its subsidiaries, including physical commodities, securities, exchange-traded and over-the-counter derivatives, risk management, global payments, and foreign exchange products in accordance with applicable law in the jurisdictions where services are provided. References to certain over-the-counter products or swaps are made on behalf of StoneX Markets, LLC SXM, a member of the National Futures Association NFA and provisionally registered with the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission CFTC as a swap dealer. SXM products are designed only for individuals or firms who qualify under CFTC rules as an eligible contract participant and who have been accepted as customers of SXM. Wealth management is offered through SA Stone Wealth Management Inc., member FINRA/SIPC, and SA Stone Investment Advisors Inc., and SEC Registered Investment Advisor, both wholly owned subsidiaries of StoneX Group Inc. StoneX Financial Limited SFL is registered in England and Wales, Company No. 5,616,586. SFL is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority registration number FRN 446,717 to provide to professional and eligible customers including arrangement, execution and, where required, clearing derivative transactions in exchange-traded futures and options. SFL is also authorized to engage in the arrangement and execution of transactions in certain OTC products, certain securities trading, precious metals trading and payment services to eligible customers. SFL is authorized regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under the Payment Services Regulations 2017 for the provision of payment services. SFL is a Category 1 ring dealing member of the London Metal Exchange. In addition, SFL also engages in other physically delivered commodities business and other general business activities which are unregulated and not required to be authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority. StoneX Financial Europe SA. SFE is a securities trading firm registered in the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg under Company No. RC Lux B 10821. SFE is authorized by the Luxembourg Ministry of Finance and regulated by the Commission de Surveillance du Secteur Financier Registration No. P000000012 to carry out, inter alia, the activities of investment advisor, portfolio manager, professional acting on own account, broker in financial instruments, and commission agent. StoneX Financial T. Limited Co. Reg. No. 201130598 RSFP holds a capital market services license and is regulated by Monetary Authority of Singapore, IMASIB for dealing in exchange-traded derivatives contracts, OTC derivatives contracts and spot foreign exchange contracts for the purposes of leveraged foreign exchange trading. StoneX Financial HK Limited C. No. BCQ 152 SHK is regulated by the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission for dealing in futures contracts. StoneX Group Inc. acts as agent for SFL in New York with respect to its payment services business. StoneX Financial T. Limited acts as agent for SFL in Singapore with respect to its payment services business. The information herein is not a recommendation to trade nor investment research or an offer to buy or sell any derivative or security. It does not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs and does not create a binding obligation on any of the StoneX Group Inc. of companies to enter into any transaction with you. You are advised to perform an independent investigation of any transaction to determine whether any transaction is suitable for you. This material should be construed as the solicitation of an account, order, and/or services provided by the FCM division of StoneX Financial Inc., SFI'd NFA ID 0476094 or StoneX Markets LLC SXM NFA ID 0449652 and represents the opinions and viewpoints of the individual authors or presenters and does not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of SFI or SXM. It does not constitute an individualized recommendation or take into account the particular trading objectives, financial situations, or needs of individual customers. Additionally, this material should not be construed as research material. The trading of derivatives such as futures, options, and over-the-counter products or swaps may not be suitable for all investors. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss, and you should fully understand the risks prior to trading. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. All references to and discussion of OTC products or swaps are made solely on behalf of SXM. All references to futures and options on futures trading are made solely on behalf of SFI. SXM products are intended to be traded only by individuals or firms who qualify under CFTC rules as an eligible contract participant and who have been accepted as customers of of SXM. SFI and SXM are not responsible for any redistribution of this material by third parties or any trading decisions taken by persons not intended to view this material. Information contained herein was obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but is not guaranteed as to its accuracy. Contact designated personnel from SFI or SXM for specific trading advice to meet your trading preferences. SFP may distribute analysis/report produced by its respective foreign affiliates within the StoneX group of companies pursuant to an arrangement under Regulation 32C of the Financial Advisors Regulations. The analysis/report is only permitted to be distributed in Singapore to a person who is an accredited investor, expert investor, or an institutional investor as defined under Section 4A of the Securities Futures Act Singapore. Recipients should contact SFP at 656-309-1000 for any matters arising from, or in connection with, the analysis or report distributed. StoneX Financial Pte. Ltd. Co. Reg. No. 2011305998R SFP is regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore MAST. SFP holds an MAS Capital Market Services license for dealing in securities, units in collective investment schemes, exchange-traded derivatives contracts, OTC derivatives contracts, and spot foreign exchange contracts for leveraged foreign exchange trading, and is an MAS-exempt financial advisor. StoneX Financial HK Limited C. No. BCQ 152-HK is regulated by the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission for dealing in securities and dealing in futures contracts. StoneX Financial Thai Limited, SFA Akin 141774727 holds an Australian financial service license and is regulated by the Australian Securities and Investments Commission AFSL 345646. StoneX Securities Co. Limited, SSJ Co. Reg. No. 010401047199 is regulated by the Japanese Financial Ser. ISIS Agency as a Type I Financial Instruments Business Operator. Kanto Local Finance Bureau FIBO No. 291 is a member of the Financial Futures Association of Japan for dealing and broking FX and FX option transactions, and is a member of the Japan Securities Dealers Association for dealing and broking stock indices and option transactions. No part of this material may be copied or duplicated in any form by any means or redistributed without the prior written consent of StoneX Group Inc. Copyright 2024 StoneX Group Inc. All rights reserved.